va les oreilles, ça va? Je vous ai
Ouais.
fait mal un petit peu?
Non.
Écoutez, c'est un film d'horreur et je me suis fait un petit peu mal et on commence comme ça. Qui a froid?
Personne.
Non, vous allez tous bien? Ok, that's good. Mesdames et messieurs de Comic Con, on va commencer un interview avec l'équipe de Chucky. Donc si vous voulez venir, venez maintenant, venez maintenant. Une petite chose, qui était ici hier? Ok, bonjour. Donc vous savez la règle. Si je suis coincé avec les mots français, s'il vous plaît, aidez-moi. Hein? Ne me torturez pas. Mais voilà. Donc, on va commencer directement. Donc, êtes-vous prêts? Mesdames et messieurs, welcome to the stage, Brad and Fiona Dourif!
Yes.
Hello! Hi, welcome to France.
Merci.
Comment allez-vous? How are you? That's it. Good.
Très bien.
Très bien. Very good. I'm just going to start with an icebreaker. What is your favourite French word?
Oui.
Oui. That's a good one. It's a good one. It gets you many doors open. Oui. What about you, Fiona?
Magnifique. Magnifique.
Yeah, magnifique. Magnifique's a good one. It's beautiful.
It's a wonderful accent to sort of make fun of or pretend, because you can just sort of sing.
Les Français, c'est facile à faire l'accent en fait. So we're going to go straight into Chucky's stories. First question is to you, Brad. What is it like living with Chucky in your head? Because you've voiced him for so long that he is ultimately a part of you. And so do you, in your day-to-day, sometimes hear him pop up in your head? Est-ce que la voix de Chucky, quelquefois, apparaît dans son quotidien?
No.
doesn't?
He doesn't pop up in my head. You know, Chucky is like family. You know, I've worked with Don Mancini for so many years. He actually, Don Mancini, I taught at Columbia University. And Don Mancini came as a student. And he was from another school, but he came and audited my classes.
Right.
So that's the first time I met him, and so he's now like, he's just part of my family.
Okay. Donc Chucky n'apparaît pas dans sa tête, mais il fait quand même partie de la famille. I don't know what that was. Et donc, il a travaillé avec Dan Mancini. So where did you work with Dan Mancini?
When I taught at Columbia University,
Okay.
he came and audited my classes. He was a student.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I first got in contact. But he also writes the
Yeah.
movies and
Donc
directs.
ils se sont rencontrés à Columbia University, Dan Mancini et Brad.
Sorry. I was wondering if people could hear him. I don't think so, no?
Est-ce que vous
Yeah.
l'entendez ou pas?
Yes.
Ça va? Ça va.
I can hear him.
Actually, what is the father-daughter relationship like on set?
Terrible.
I hate her. No, yeah, it's
I don't think you can fucking hear him.
Can you hear me?
They're not gonna say
Because
no.
it's English.
They definitely no. I'll translate, but they need the microphone near the mouth for sure.
Okay,
Fiona.
so what were we?
No, but your microphone's not near the mouth.
I have it in my head that you guys can't hear my dad, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong before.
The
Okay,
speakers
I'll
are facing
answer.
that way.
It's true. I'll answer this question earnestly.
Okay.
It's a great gift as an adult to be able to spend time with your parents, like more than a couple days a year. So we actually, he's a good hang. He's fun to hang out with, and we get these like little vacations together. both on set and then these conventions, and I'm really grateful for it, actually. Though he doesn't talk into microphones.
Donc la question que j'avais demandé, c'était comment est-ce que c'est de travailler avec papa et fille, en fait. Et pour elle, c'est non seulement une façon de grandir l'amitié entre les deux, un peu d'humeur et tout ça, mais aussi c'est un plaisir, c'est comme des vacances. Et donc elle adore ça. But what about you? What's it like working with Fiona?
Well, Fiona, there was a period when Fiona lived with, well, of course, when she was an adult and an actress, and she lived with us, and we
Wait,
all...
hold on. I didn't live with you as an adult. Wait, no, when? No, I didn't. When? Okay, wait. So what he's talking about 8 months when I was 27, just so you guys know. Yeah. Okay.
Maintenant, on a une petite fenêtre dans leur monde. We can see a little bit of the interactions between you two. I could see why it was like a double act. C'est comment on dit un double act en français? C'est comme un double jeu. Merci.
Oh wait, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dad. Go ahead. Sorry. Well, I didn't want them to think I was like living on your couch for years.
No.
Only 8 months.
You had your own little house. But at any rate, she would audition. If she had an audition, I auditioned with her. You know, I read with her.
Yeah.
And if I had an audition, she read with me. So, frankly, working with her is like being in my own living room.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is that nice? That is
I don't
nice.
know why not. Of course it's nice.
Well, you know what family's like. Sometimes we
We fight.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Yeah. How do you transition the relationship between father-daughter and then colleagues, as in like to shed the skin of family ties? How do you do that?
Easy.
Oh, that's nice.
But also when we work together, we're playing either the same person, which was wild, it felt much weirder than I thought it would be, or we're playing father-daughter, so it's only happened twice. The first time we were both playing the same person. They gave me 4.5 hours of makeup to look exactly like my dad, and I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life because of that. And then we played father and daughter on a show.
And when you played as your dad, I'm correct. You still voiced it, didn't you? When she played your dad, when she had the prosthetics of you, I mean, you did the voice.
Yeah.
How did you?
Wait a minute. No.
You didn't?
When I played with her in a scene, she was playing the younger me in her voice.
Oh, in her voice, okay.
Yeah, but it was the voice of Chucky, and I played old Chucky, ghost Chucky, and with the voice of Chucky.
A lot of Chuckies in your head.
Yes. Yeah. It got very confusing. We had Brando Chucky, we had good Chucky, we had
Hulk Chucky.
old Chucky.
There was who watched the TV series? Raise your hands. Does anybody how many Chuckies at one point were there in season 2? There was does anybody remember Brando Chucky? Who
That was
else?
the Colonel.
Good Chucky, the Colonel. Good Chucky. Who else? They were all, you did all of them. I forgot. Anybody else remember? I think that was Brando though, no?
And just quickly, who here understands English? Pretty much everyone. Okay, that's good. Je vais essayer de traduire, mais parce que there's such a charm and flow between you two that I don't want to interrupt too much. So most of them speak English. That's pretty good. That's pretty handy. Do we have any questions for the Chucky pals? Yes, Monsieur, venez.
Bonjour. Bonjour. En fait, moi, j'ai été déçu parce qu'en fait, il n'y avait plus la suite en fait de la série. Elle s'est arrêtée, alors que ça s'est terminé sur limite un cliffhanger où on imaginait la suite. Et je voulais savoir s'il allait y avoir un film en fait pour conclure la série ou pas.
Dad, go ahead. What do you think?
He was wondering if there was going to be a film to conclude, to finish the series.
Okay. The rights of the film rights expire from
I think they're half owned by two studios, so MGM and Universal, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and they lose the rights in June, and they we'll see what happens in June. But if all goes well and they just let the rights go, then Don Mancini owns it, and he will. I know that's the way I feel about it. And then I think two things could happen. A film, which definitely will happen, and maybe even the series.
Yeah, there was a fourth season that was very close to being made. There was a real demand. Chucky did very well, the TV series, worldwide. A lot of people watched. So Peacock, it was so close. But there was a problem right at the end, and so it got pushed. But Chucky will always be back. Always.
Yes.
I think
His soul never dies.
Chucky lives in a lot of us. Yes. I don't. Who here had actual nightmares because of Chucky?
No.
So I only watched when I was about 11 years old. I watched the trailer for Chucky. That scared me, and because my mum is only 15 years older than me, but I had a young mum. Sometimes she was a mum and sometimes she was an older sister. She thought it was so funny that I was scared of dolls coming to life. One day, before going to bed, she hid under my bed with a doll and a kitchen knife. I screamed and I pissed myself. It was terrible.
So mean!
It's terrifying. And I was genuinely scared of Chucky for a long time. And so I watched the first one, but I think in my later teens, because Chucky was a genuine symbol of fear for me. I have been in therapy. I'm good.
I'm so happy to hear that. I want you to know. I have a couple stories like that. I was a very rebellious, shitty teenager, and I remember a kid came to my house and we did a psychedelic or something. I must have been 17, and we have a Chucky doll. And the kid sees the Chucky doll at exactly the wrong point and flips out and disappears. And I think was found by the police or something later. No, everybody was fine. In the end, everybody was fine. But I think he raises a particular fear if you're a certain age.
Yeah.
Which we're really grateful for. I think it's terrific.
Terrifying. Juste pour quick translation, donc en juin, les droits pour le film vont être à Mancini, donc on va voir ce qui va se passer avec ça. Et voilà, donc ça c'est la réponse. Je vais pas tout traduire parce qu'il y a un peu de flow avec la famille là. Qui a une autre question? Yes.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Quel a été le meilleur Chucky que vous avez aimé jouer?
What was your favorite Chucky to play as? Elle a dit, je sais
You mean of the many
lui a dit,
Chuckies?
which one, lequel?
Of the many Chuckies? Well, I think the one that got the best response was Brando Chucky, at least on set. The Colonel Chucky. But I just like plain old Chucky. You know, he's basic, loves his job. He's a steady worker. He's there for everybody who needs to get murdered, and he likes blood. So yeah, that's always cool.
I remember. First of all, he worked very hard on the different Chuckies. You would walk around the house doing Brando for months, no? So Chucky takes a lot of hard work. And I think it was good Chucky that you really had a...
You like good Chucky.
I like good Chucky, but I also thought that you had a soft spot for good Chucky.
Everybody has a soft spot for good Chucky.
Donc la réponse est Brandon Chucky, c'était son préféré parce qu'il y avait une meilleure interaction sur la mise en scène, sur le plateau. Mais il aime bien aussi juste le Chucky normal, celui qui aime bien tuer, il est là pour tout le monde, voilà, donc ça c'est la réponse. Et elle a cru qu'il allait dire le bon Chucky. Le bon Chucky, voilà. Any more questions?
Le bon Chucky.
What's that?
Le bon Chucky.
Le bon Chucky.
Le bon Chucky.
Et le titre pour les films, c'était juste Chucky en France, c'est ça? So in France, the title is just Chucky. It's not Jeu d'enfant.
Yes.
En anglais, c'est Jeu d'enfant, Child's Play.
Somebody gave me the portrait of the woman who does my voice, the French woman who dubs me. Her name is Caroline, and she does. Was that you? No. Yeah. and she does all of my Chucky and the Pit, and she does the Chucky cackle apparently really well. So I'm very excited to meet her. If anybody knows Caroline, I'd love to meet her.
Il y a des autres questions? Yes.
Alors vous pouvez faire votre rire de Chucky?
On va voir peut-être. He would love to hear the Chucky laugh, and if that was possible, because even just hearing your laugh, Fiona.
Okay, warn everybody that don't ask me to do this.
Well, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Because I...
That was terrifying. I mean, even just hearing your normal laugh, I could feel my heart beating. On ne lui demande plus à faire ça, okay? We don't ask him again. But that was terrifying. That was beautiful. How naturally did you find Chucky voice? When
Chucky's basically simple. He is absolutely terrified of oblivion.
he's terrified of oblivion.
Of oblivion. He does not want to cease to exist.
And was that because of the fear of death? Because obviously, like,
That's what motivates him.
yeah.
And the second thing is he loves his job. So
What's his job,
it's
Dad?
really those two simple things that I always have to remember.
And so just thinking of that, then sort of the voice sort of...
Yeah, I mean, just
flows
you know,
through.
and also Chucky's not a real person. Chucky's a doll. You know, I mean, once was a real person, but not anymore. So
Right.
he's like, you can't take him too seriously. You know, you have to just have fun with.
Quand je demandais où est-ce qu'il a trouvé sa voix, et je crois que c'était assez naturel, et c'était de penser au concept. Par exemple, il a peur de mourir et il adore faire tuer les gens, il adore son boulot. Et en fait, juste de penser à cette mentalité, c'est comme ça qu'il a trouvé la voix. Et bien sûr, la voix a évolué parce que tout d'un coup, Chucky n'est plus une personne, c'est une poupée. Donc, je crois que ça a évolué comme ça.
Can I ask, do you remember when you prepared Charles Lee Ray? Was it the same motivator?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only difference with Charles Lee Ray is that he had a bad mind. He could do voodoo. Yeah, I mean Chucky can do voodoo too, but that was it was more skip.
Try mine?
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Chucky is.
It's kind of spooky, isn't it?
It's like a lightsaber show. I'm not too sure. You know, you sit there, and then I'll just stand.
Okay.
Listen, Brad, tell me about Charles Lee Ray, you know? Yeah.
I mean, this,
Yeah, I mean, you know, he had to, Charles Lee Ray had to die.
He had to die.
And he had to die, and I had to really produce a kind of fear and anger there that was important to the story.
Do you... Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to
So
interrupt.
that was like the big thing with Charles Lee Ray.
Do you think that it came from your own fear of death? Do you remember if that... Or...
No, it came from, well, in a way, yeah, but I don't walk around terrified of death all the time.
Good.
was Charles Lee Ray though, when we were first introduced to Charles Lee Ray, was he already running away from the police?
Yes.
Right, so there was this immediacy of running away from death, right? So I suppose you didn't have to think about it too much because it was already like death and voodoo, scene one.
Yeah, but you know, I did have to prepare. I didn't have to need to know where I was going.
Right.
I mean, I had to have, it all had to lead up to being, I want revenge and I'm ready to kill.
Yeah, okay. This is
very fun. I've never had I don't know what this panel feels like, but it's new and fresh. I feel like it's also kind of a therapy couch.
It's French art house. I mean,
You know, yes.
from their perspective, everything is in black and white. Would you like to ask the questions? Because if anything...
Can I ask a question from you? Yeah. Do I have a question for him?
No, not for me.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking of a question that I was curious. So we did have a conversation about what makes Chucky tick. Because I was cast as the younger version of his iconic character, which is very scary for me. And so there was discussions about how to walk like a man. Do you remember that, Dad?
So, il y avait des conversations.
Okay, so, I don't know, just in case you're a
Yeah.
girl and has to walk like a man.
Here, you want to do it, Dad?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
two things to understand. Men lead with their chest,
Yeah, there was like that.
and women lead with their hips. Very simple, uncomplicated, and you can do it too.
Yeah, so there was a lot of walking around our house in New York being like, nah, Chucky walks a little more like with his hips or with his chest. And then what else was interesting?
Yeah, so you actually had to think a lot more about Charles Lee Ray because, like we were talking, scene one is I'm about to die and voodoo, but you actually had to dive deeper into the psychology of Charles Lee Ray. Yeah.
Let me tell you, Charles Lee Ray is the most fun to play. He's more fun than Nica because Charles Lee Ray is fucking having a great time. He loves it. It's like pure joy. And he's very free. And Nica, it's a fucking nightmare. I mean, what hasn't happened to this character, right? Don't you feel terrible for her?
Yeah, she has quite the arc. Victim to I'm gonna murder everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, Jennifer cut off her arms. Anyway.
Il y a des autres questions? Yes, yes.
Bonjour. Quand j'ai commencé à regarder, je ne savais pas que Fiona était la fille de Brad et j'ai trouvé que son jeu était ultra bluffant. Est-ce qu'elle pourrait aussi nous faire son rire?
I don't know why they're upset. Vous pouvez entendre le rire sur les films. Like, you can't ask that again. Fucking hell. Come on, people. You worked it out, right? He was basically asking the same question. Une autre question? This is yes.
Si jamais vous auriez pu changer si elle avait pu changer la fin de son personnage, Nica, qu'est-ce qu'elle aurait choisi?
If you could have had a different ending for Nica, what would you have chosen?
Well, she would have fucking won, huh? You know, she would have gotten, maybe tortured Jennifer Tilly for a few episodes, you know? maybe tortured her, cut off all her hair, you know, like handcuffed her in her basement or something. There just would have been, it would have, Nica would have had a higher, she would have won for a couple episodes.
Yeah, donc Nica, elle serait sortie victorieuse, un petit peu de torture, juste un petit peu de torture, hein, couper les cheveux et tout ça, donc voilà. Il y a des autres questions? Venez plus près s'il vous plaît. Et qui a une poupée Chucky avec eux? Oh my god, what a nightmare. Terrifying. No! Allez, mettez votre poupée en haut, comme ça. Wow, that's frightening. That's a frightening thing. Mademoiselle.
If, as someone who played in horror movies, if someone wants to try to play in horror movies, what would be like a tip, something like that, for future people who want to play in a horror movie?
So, since you've done so many horror movies, what would be your advice for young actors who would like to sort of enter the realm of horror movies? What advice?
Yeah, you got any acting tips, Dad, about horror? That's interesting. I don't know what that is.
This is kind of complicated, but I think that horror has changed. The genre changes over the years. Camp was the era when the first Chucky movie was.
Yeah.
And then I think Scream came.
90.
I think that was the first, right? Scream.
What year?
That changed the genre, and it began to be more self-referential, and it took itself more seriously because of that.
Yeah.
And so the style changed, and then it went back to the roots, which was before camp. It was very serious, horror was very serious, and that was going back to the roots kind of thing. So the important thing to remember is you have to be a part of the event, of the style of the horror.
Okay. Donc les films d'horreur, ils ont une évolution, d'accord? Donc par exemple avec Chucky au début, Charles Play c'était camp. Je sais pas comment on dit ça en français, mais ça se prenait pas trop sérieusement. Et après, tu vois, il y a une évolution où là maintenant les films d'horreur, ils veulent vraiment psychologiquement te donner du trauma ou quelque chose. Et donc tu dois trouver la vague où les films d'horreur ils sont. Donc par exemple, si ça se prend pas au sérieux en ce moment, tu essayes de créer des choses qui ne sont pas trop au sérieux. Donc c'est trouver où les films d'horreur ils sont en ce moment.
I think horror is cool for a young actor because you get a chance to audition in a way other genres don't. Like they're friendly, it's easier, and figure out what makes you really fucking scared. There's usually one thing that's floating around.
And young women actresses work much harder than anybody else because they have to be dragged, screaming, and it goes on for days. If they're shooting, all they're doing is crying their eyes out, and by the end of 3 days, they have headaches, and it's pretty painful, and it's very hard work.
I also wish,
I'm glad I'm a boy under those circumstances.
I wish I was able to relax more when I was starting to, because no matter what, it's always better when you're relaxed. Yeah.
Donc,
figure out what scares you and try to chill out.
Quelques petites astuces. Premièrement, elle aurait bien aimé si elle pouvait être un peu plus relax quand elle avait fait son boulot. Mais bien sûr, ça vient avec le temps. Hein. Mais il y a aussi il y a plus d'opportunités pour les jeunes femmes. Donc, prends l'opportunité si tu peux faire des auditions. Surtout avec les films d'horreur, généralement, c'est plus facile à trouver des auditions. Et il avait dit aussi que pour les jeunes femmes, c'est plus dur le travail. Parce que généralement, c'est eux qui se font tabasser et tout ça. Et je crois que ça, c'est pas le mot que je cherchais, mais vous me comprenez. donc voilà. Bonne chance. Any more questions? Il y a des autres questions? Yes.
think that it's possible for Chucky to have to think what he do is wrong, and his soul was very bad when you realize what he did? Do you think it's possible?
Is it possible for Chucky to have an epiphany that what he was doing was simply wrong?
No.
I really like that idea, though. I'm kind of gonna pitch it, maybe.
I mean, I think that was explored with Good Chucky in the TV series. Good Chucky was, yeah, that's about as deeply as one could go with that.
Chucky meets Jesus.
You know what I mean? And almost, I feel like Dawn is always looking for ideas to surprise you. So maybe that's it. That's the next one. Chucky finds God.
That's great. But in a way, Chucky's already found God, because if he believes in souls, right, then he is participant in God's theatre.
Not the same thing.
No? Fair enough.
I think we're having a great brainstorming session, actually. I'm into it.
Il y a des questions? Yes, monsieur.
J'avais une autre question pour Fiona. Est-ce que c'était pas difficile de jouer en fauteuil roulant pendant une, 2 saisons, je crois, la dernière saison, donc par rapport à l'interprétation, le jeu?
C'est très difficile à te regarder dans les yeux, dis donc. It's so hard to look him in the eyes with the purple eyes.
I was getting drawn in. I was like, are they contacts? Or it's actually a Jedi.
It might be, right? Jedi that's fan of child's play, which is, you know, across time and space, he would be. He was wondering how difficult, what challenges came along with performing in a wheelchair. Like you were limited, so.
I get this question a lot. Almost nothing. So it was really important for Dawn to try to make Nica like a full human with sexuality and crushes and complicated relationships who happens to be in a wheelchair. So it wasn't this defining thing about her. And then when I had no arms and legs for 2 seasons, that became hard because it became very expensive. Because every time I had these like green sleeves on, and my arms were behind my back, and I had these like, sometimes I had these like metal claws. It was a fucking nightmare, actually.
I bet. I suppose one of the beauties with child's play is that it doesn't. You take your work seriously, but child's play is in a way adult's play, right? And so there's I suppose less pressure because it's all just fun.
It is a shitload of fun to make. It is so much fun to make. It's part of the reason why it always feels like I won a lottery because it's really fun to make. Chucky's a puppet and he's like hilarious. He half the time looks constipated. I make it with my dad, you know, and then people like it.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Parce que le film ne se prend pas trop au sérieux. C'est donc un jeu d'enfant en quelque sorte. Donc c'était pas vraiment trop difficile. C'était un peu plus difficile quand elle avait plus de jambes et des bras.
What did you say?
Fucking hell is oh putain de merde.
Putain de merde.
Il y a des autres questions? Sinon on va finir bientôt. Yes, une autre question.
Bon, Brad, il a joué sur le rôle d'exorciste en serial killer. Et pour lui, quelles sont les différences de ces serial killers pour Chucky?
So you've actually played other serial killers. What's the difference between the serial killer in The Exorcist, Exorcist 3, and let's say the serial killer Chucky?
Those two characters twisted in very different ways. There's no real reason that's ever explained why Well, sort of is. Charles Lee Ray is that way because of genetics. I mean, he was just born to be that. There's a certain specificness in the Gemini Killer because it came from he was made the way he became by a very sadistic father. And he was just, I mean, all of his humor and his sense of play came from twisting a knife. It was just vengeful. And, you know, Chucky, you know, could like, okay, I gotta spread my legs, get up, I'll just kill somebody, you know, I mean, so there's kind of a difference.
Yeah. Donc avec Chucky, c'est dans sa nature. Tu vois, Charles Lee Ray, c'est ah ben aujourd'hui je vais me tuer, je vais me faire une petite tuée quoi. Une petite tuée, vous l'avez compris. Mais une petite tuée. Mais avec le Gemini Killer, c'était parce que son père l'a torturé et donc c'est comme s'il avait besoin de faire ça pour son trauma. Donc c'est une vengeance en quelque sorte. Donc c'est un peu sadistique. La façon. Mais avec Chucky, c'est plus un jeu. Voilà. I think that's it. What? Would you like a picture of you two? No?
We have lots of pictures of ourselves, I must tell you.
Beautiful. Just. Okay, one more question. Parfait.
Ça a fait quoi à Fiona de jouer le rôle de son père dans la série? Elle a dû refaire le rôle de son père jeune.
So he asked a question that you touched on already, which was, what was it like to play your dad?
Oh, it's very fucked up. Way more fucked up than I thought it would be. It was really weird. Also, I was playing my father. It took 4.5 hours. And then I look in the mirror and I look exactly like him. I had quit smoking. I smoked a cigarette right after. And then they have a scene where I watch women have sex. It was like that. It was that, but like sexually. The whole thing was so fucking weird. It was so much weirder than I thought it would be. It was so
Did you
weird.
spend any time in genuine therapy after that?
No, I haven't. But I did. I passed as a man. So I at one point went into a bar just to see what that would be like, and that was interesting.
Oh, so you were allowed to go off set with the full makeup and...
There was there was just one moment where we were waiting for the people to wrap.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting around with all this makeup. It's really uncomfortable. It's very itchy. And I went into a bar to see if I would kind of pass as Charles, you know. And
how did it go?
I tried to hit on a woman. I think I passed. I think I was like, yeah. Anyway, very weird, much weirder. Do you look like your dad at all?
Est-ce que toi tu ressembles à ton père? Okay.
Yeah, it's like that times 1,000. It was real weird.
Donc quand elle s'est vue dans le miroir avec le même visage de son père, ça l'a fait un peu peur. Et elle avait arrêté de fumer, mais là elle a dit j'ai besoin d'une cigarette. Et après, elle devait regarder du porno, mais en ressemblant à son père. Donc ça, c'était tellement bizarre qu'elle avait besoin d'un peu de thérapie, mais elle n'a pas été en thérapie. Et après, elle voulait voir si vraiment elle pouvait faire semblant d'être un homme. Et donc elle a été dans un bar après une des journées et elle a dragué avec une femme. What a life!
Oh wait!
Just translating this, I'm like, this is so weird.
It's so fucking weird. Also, I FaceTimed him the first time. So I FaceTimed him. Do you remember this, Pop? And do you remember what you said? He said, "What's wrong with your face?" And I was like, what do you think? And he was like, "Oh, you're, I think you said you're me." That was it. It was just, it's almost so weird, it's ineffable.
I'll make this quick. I was doing ADR, which is when you do voice over already shot stuff. So I saw Charles Lee Ray on screen, and I was going, I don't remember doing that. And then, I realized it was filmed. So
He's like,
that's what it's like for me.
39, I have a 39-year-old daughter, And my other quote was like, it's like nepotism on steroids, you know what I mean?
Donc il y avait un moment où elle a fait un FaceTime avec lui et il avait dit qu'est-ce qui se passe avec ton visage, et ça lui a pris un bon moment pour dire ah ouais c'est moi.
What's wrong with your face? Yeah.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe avec ton visage? What's happening with your face? Yeah, and then, et oui, quand il a fait du ADR, donc c'est quand tu fais le doublage, il y avait une scène, et c'était Fiona qui jouait Charles Lee Ray, et il regarde sur l'écran parce qu'il doit faire le même doublage, et il se disait, je me rappelle pas de faire cette scène. Il avait oublié pour un moment que c'était Fiona. Donc, I mean, that goes to show that your acting as your dad was so good that he was like, wait a minute, when did I do that?
Also, and not to like sell myself short here, but in truth, this is the makeup people who did it. I mean, I had actually very little to do as him, but the people who made me look like him were incredibly good at it.
You've got the idiosyncrasies and stuff like that.
No. Sorry, no.
It's true.
I had to dub some her performance in the first one, and I was amazed at how much better her take on Charles Lee Ray was than mine. I was really,
such an utter bullshit.
really.
But thanks, Pop. That's very sweet. I love you.
I'm telling the truth.
Oh, this is beautiful, guys.
This is very cute, but that's dog shit.
Elle est humble et elle dit que sa performance n'était pas vraiment super, mais c'était vraiment l'équipe du maquillage et tout ça qui avait fait l'effort. Et lui, il dit non, t'es une bonne comédienne, une good actress. Et elle lui croit pas. Anything else? Une autre question? No? Well,
Thank you guys very much for watching.
Merci.
And his father is French.
well, welcome back.
Yeah, he's a French citizen.
Oh,
Yeah.
il est français.
He's Français. Wait, where are we from, Dad? Where is it? Paris, really?
Somewhere in Paris. Vous pouvez les rencontrer aux tables, mais Brad and Fiona Dourif!
Bravo. Ouais, c'est bien.